looks like they're all
Ancient kind of really, really doubles that.
Where's
Not a focus button?
Are you sure you're not gonna learn?
Wait. Oh yeah, I did. Oh yes! It worked! Oh yeah, it's good. Wow, you're maybe learner.
I think that the alternative of doing that blood study
Oh, it did. Nah, that was 10 I think Can we share the presentation?
Not anymore. We have
I don't even have projectors right this time.
I saw this. Yeah, I don't know.
I was there.
Yeah, but I was like,
We were just so excited to see we can move down there. Move to that little table right there.
I'm not too worried. Honestly, it's not like I'm
But we don't know it's not security. It's the mic. It is. Oh, yeah, we see it. I think I'm in focus then.
Alright, hi everyone. Welcome to our project presentation at the Harvard Hackathon. We know you all worked really hard and we know you're all really excited to present what you've done. So we have a live stream for the parents who want to watch at home. And we have our 4 amazing judges, Joshua Glazer, Eric Victoria, Samir Gupta, and Todd Jackson. They will be judging your project based on a number of criteria. And after the presentation, we will have Q&A with the judges. So we're trying to limit the presentations to 7 minutes each. We have 16 groups. And Kian in the back there will give you Kian right there will give you a symbol, a 1, just to let you know when there's 1 minute left. All right. So let's get started. Here is the
are you recording this, or is there a screen?
Yeah, there's a live stream up there.
All right.
And please bring your laptops up to the stand so we can plug you in, and or share your presentation with me if you want. Yeah.
Do you have a clicker?
No. So first we have John Zhu and Jacob Massey.
Jacob Massey.
I know Jacob Massey.
John's not here either.
Alright, well, they are not here. So we will be moving on to our next group, Trucker.
He's called Sam. That's good.
You might have to share your slide. Yay!
It's like yeah, literally does. Like you and I was so funny. This microphone there. Literally sliding
Oh yeah, sorry. The theme this year is I just put it on the board because I can't say it in words.
100 emoji, check mark emoji, spinning around emoji.
Blue emoji,
Did I
yeah.
put him in the wrong order on my slide?
I know. Oh wait, can we also request that when you start to say the number of team members and what year you are?
This is the theme.
Wait, yeah, give me a second.
It's supposed to be as broad as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets a lot of
Alright. And theme this year was optional, but it's like extra credit.
Okay, alright.
Alright, Tucker, here you go.
Okay. Hi everyone. So our project is named Trucker. Have you ever wanted to find the best like good food near you that's like fast and easy and like some places that you probably never heard of before? Then our website is the place for you. So yeah. So our website uses like a geolocation tracker to find so that different vendors can give you their location, and then you can then we put them all on one map, and then you can find locations that aren't on like Google Maps or some sort of place like small fruit shops or like vendors that are like food trucks that move around a lot. So yeah, that's what our website does, and like we have a vendor registration on our website that will allow the trucks to input their location and also have the customers give them a rating and also share their experiences, be able to show what kind of food they have and how they felt about the food. And that's how our website works.
So once these food truck vendors have kind of put in their address and all their information, we're able to calculate like their longitude coordinates and then just basically place that as a marker on a map so that people can then find that and basically track them through.
This is how we made it. We had a lot of influence from the Google Maps API and kind of like collaborative work as a group to make like a really accurate and specific geolocation system.
Thank you for thinking about Tractor. And yeah, we have 4 people, and we're all juniors. The last person, Derek, could not be here. That's
What was the geolocation tracking that you added on top of the Google Maps API?
You want me to go? Okay, yeah. So there was a Google Maps API that we used for showing up like the actual map to show you like after the shutdown was gone. But it's a map, and then on top of that, I spent like a long time at night kind of pulling all-nighter to this.
Yeah.
Just kind of like maneuvering and kind of specifying a lot of aspects of like a specific geolocation system, which can be used kind of like it's a general theme that you plug in, and then it can find longitude and latitude to like a really specific decimal point.
And would the idea be that the food truck would add their address, or would it use geolocation on one of their devices in case we move the location? Would it automatically update the location of the food truck, or is that a manual?
That's
I mean, the idea was like that they could manually input every day, so that they would, as they move, because if they're not on the schedule, they would have to put it in there. But we also were thinking about making an idea that would be similar to like manual or automatic.
Gotcha.
They could also implement like their routes, so like
yeah.
I mean, the direction they're going to take. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right, thank you, Trucker. Next. Okay, so our first team is here. Great. So let's present Waluigi, and if you guys want to, go ahead. Never mind. Okay, we're going to go to Monty Python. Irish Chen is not here, so it's just going to be Elliot Linkman.
It's okay.
You have an issue, might Alright, you might have to share your slides.
Oh, that's a problem. Actually, I can use that.
Okay, it doesn't work, but try.
Okay, Elliot, we love you.
That sound, I'm recognizing something. Maybe. All right. Cool. Well, so my project, Iris, we were working on solving the game
dots and boxes, which I'll show you what it looks like on the next slide. You'll probably recognize it. So everybody has a different name for it. And we are using Monte Carlo simulations, which I will explain in the next couple slides, but hence we're doing it in Python. Anyways, we bit off more than we could chew from the beginning, and I'll just start out by admitting that straight up. Our computer got fried by Python. Simply speaking, the game, at every decision node of the tree, there are like 60 possible moves. And so if you think, if I want to look n moves deep into my game tree, that's going to be a big number, like 60 to the power of n, which gets very big very fast. So while we were able, we had anticipated it would be a little bit easier than we were able to get it, but it was an experience. I'll just want to start by saying that. So to go back to the very basics, I want to go to tic-tac-toe and just talk about like how you'd even go about making a game of AI, right? Excuse me, I'll just start here. So when I said game trees, this is kind of something I mentioned. What I'm meaning is if I make out a map of game states, you can see this is like a little tic-tac-toe board. From this board, if it's the computer's move, they can go any of these three places, right? So these are the three next possible game states. And then from here, the player's move, so we can get to these possible game states, and so on and so forth. So the most simple algorithmic tree search is just look down all the paths, see what happens, and pass it back up, right? And this will work excellently on a game like tic-tac-toe. So to put together a quick demonstration of what that might look like, if REPL loads, then we might be able to play a quick game and you can see what it looks like in action. But the nice thing when it's a small game like tic-tac-toe and I can look through it comprehensively, I will be able to win every time. So would one of you guys like to like call out moves? Like what square should you get?
Center.
Center, somebody said? Okay, center. So I'm gonna put that, so we take the center, the computer turn, and you'll notice the computer is thinking here. You'll see it's going to take less and less time to think as we get further and further down the tree, so it took the top left-hand corner. Next move, anyone? Bottom right. Okay? As it's there.
I never said it was going to be good.
Yep, so I'm going to block. All right, it goes there. Where should we go next? Bottom left, okay. 2, 0. And you can see that it has become a tie. The computer has played us to a tie, which means it played a correct game of tic-tac-toe, like proof of concept, this works. So, we've established how you do this with a simple game. Now I want to talk about Monte Carlo simulations, which is basically, if I have this massive tree of information, how can I go through it in a faster way? So the way I like to think about this is, say I want to find like the ratio, the area of this weird shape to the to the area of the square. This is hard for me to measure, so what I might do, I might, with my awful aim, stand back and start throwing darts at the thing on the paper, having like a random sample, and I can take the ratio of the darts inside the shape to inside the square, which obviously imperfect estimation, but super fast, right? And it's close enough. So that's the idea behind Monte Carlo simulations. So going back to our tic-tac-toe tree, I could, from this state, basically say play out a random game of tic-tac-toe n times, and then take like the average of what happened, and that'll give me a picture of what's going on. However, and there's going to be a lot of buts as we continue going on here, because this game is a nightmare. But this approach has a flaw in a two-player game, because your opponent's playing against you. If my random sampling shows me there's a 3/4 chance that I win, my opponent's going to choose the 1/4 chance where I lose. So I have to do a Monte Carlo tree search, which is different from a Monte Carlo simulation in that it uses this beautiful equation to balance exploitation of values that I already know from my searches to exploration. If you want, I can explain to you why all this works, but you're probably bored of the math already, so I'm going to move on. To explaining just quickly the slide that I skipped at the beginning before we go, what is this game and why does it fit the theme? Dots and boxes. Every move, you get to place an edge on the board. And if you complete a square, you get to fill in the square. The goal of the game is get as many squares as you can. So as you can see, it's a turn-based game, which you could loosely tie to this emoji. After every move, you check to see if you completed a box, or you check off a box, say it how you like. And the goal of the game is to fill as close to 100% of the board as you can. Woo! Yeah, it fits the beat. Amazing. One last thing, wanted to make it a website with PyScript because that's new and exciting, but we kind of ran out of time, so we had to implement it in Pygame, which like only works locally. So that was a little sad. If we had more time, would have loved to do that with the AI. As I mentioned, there were a lot of complexities with just this monstrous tree that we were working with. But we have, you can play against an AI, and it is surprisingly decent. And yeah, that's the project. Oh yeah, it beats me almost every time. Sometimes it'll get unlucky, like it'll run very early in the game when it can't see. Obviously, as it gets closer to the end, it gets more and more accurate. So sometimes it'll just like make a mistake in the beginning and then it'll count it's over. But I think it's only lost one game in the like yeah. Any other questions? I guess
Next up, we have the grasshoppers. Do your laptops support HDMI? We can try SBC, but it might not work.
only has a nicer set of
Excuse me.
Okay, hello. So basically, our thing is a choose-your-own adventure game where you go back in time 100 years to the last 20s, and you get to do a lot of different things, and there are a lot of different pathways. Like, you can become president, you can like start a nuclear war, you can destroy the universe. So yeah, so basically that's the idea, and you'll see how it influences emojis later, but you can kind of get a sense already probably. So yeah, this isn't just like the beginning of the story. Like the protagonist gets like shoved in or like jumps in by their friend, their friends are like Colby and Jack, which is funny by the way, so enjoy that. But yeah, so this is like the basic idea, and there are a lot of different like things you can do. You can like, you know, prevent things and or like just try to get back home or whatever. Okay. So yeah, what do we make? Basically, we use Xcode. So it's like, you know, it's a question and there are buttons. It's fairly simple, but it like has the features. Okay, so we incorporated the theme with the 100 years. That, you know, you want a positive outcome, and you want to maybe make things better. Although if you try to make things better, you have a much higher likelihood of making things worse. And you're going back, and you're repeating things. And there is also this thing that we included, which is the grandfather paradox, which basically, if you go back in time and kill your grandfather, then, you know, you're not born. But if you're not born, your grandfather doesn't get killed. And basically in this, that destroys the universe. Like, you know, we don't really know what happened because time travel and stuff. But that's like the gist of it. So, yeah. So why would people like our game? We talked to people. There was a football game up there yesterday night. We saw what people thought. And so we got interest. People seemed excited by the idea of it. They seemed to think it was cool. And it is, you know, you can think about the past, you can think about time travel, like these are interesting, you know, ideas and whatever. Yeah. Okay, so obviously, you know, we had like very limited time. There are a lot more things we want to do, such as more and more complex paths. Like we want to, you know, have a lot of different pathways and a lot of different options and like side tracks you can take and stuff and that type of thing. We would want some sort of scorekeeping, like you made it like negative better or positive better, or you actually didn't change any of the betterness of like your life or the world. And we want more visuals and like maybe some sort of map that like can show the character where they are. And that type of thing. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the app. So you can scroll down and you can see the different choices you have, and you can see what's up here. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to jump in, say yes, or no way?
No way.
No way.
No way. No way. Jump in.
So we'll be clear.
Take the train.
Get rich. Get rich. American Corporation. American.
Yeah, so that's an example of like one of the pathways. Some are longer, some are shorter. There are also more things that we would add, but that's the gist. And yeah.
Any games inspired to make this game?
Well, yeah, there is the Oregon Trail and Sorcery, which is a game that she loves, that one, Sophia, and introduced me to, and it's super fun. And that was a really like complex one that, you know, we sort of like would be the type of complexity we were inspired to, about logic paths you can play for a week. It's, you know, very involved. So we were inspired by that type of thing.
They're very similar.
Even all of our judges here probably schedule, and unfortunately, the schedule puts a lot of weight on this. It weighs us down. So we decided to make a game about schedules and about relieving the tension and organizing that schedule right.
Okay, well, I guess this side was explained already. But, basically, our way of getting our ideas for doing this project was, like, obviously, you come into this event, you don't really know what you're gonna do firsthand, so, like, you learn the theme, and then you just start, and what we did was we started going through what problems we had in our lives, or, like, what can make things easier for ourselves, and then, like, finding the causes of any difficulties in our lives, and then from there it's easier to find out solutions, and then we decided to make our game this way.
And on strategy to code, we couldn't decide at first what app to use to code our game, but then we decided to use Unity, which uses C#. Yeah. And all of us did like sort of our own thing, but in the end we still collaborated.
Because the big problem with Unity is that only one person can work on a project at a time unless you sign up for like this Unity Collaborate thing. And none of us had our credit cards to pay $7 just so that all of us could work on it at once. So we were all having to do multitasking, do different things. And as time went on, we learned that that our original resource management game slowly began developing more of a Tetris arcade game as time began running out and our lack of C# knowledge became extremely apparent. Like extremely apparent. So yeah, our game slowly shifted over time into being more of a linear adventure, into a quick action arcade game as you rushed to clear your inbox of piling up events and just like somewhere under the calendar.
And then we also had to watch a lot of YouTube videos, and it's like
it was a lot of just constant learning, because you don't realize how many things are required to make a game. Just to make the mechanics work, we spent like 2 hours trying to get the box to move when we dragged it. it was a lot of learning, and I feel really proud that we iterated, and though most of us didn't really have any knowledge of C#.
Can you guys go back and just explain how the game works?
So basically, it's like the events the events that come down are like new events that suddenly come up, and like, oh, you need to place in your calendar. So like so before your events fill up, you need to actually know where you're supposed to be doing them and know when you're supposed to be completing them. So you drag them from like the drop area to the calendar, and basically you lose if the drop area gets too big, and then your events just start piling up, and you don't know where to put stuff.
Did you use Unity before?
I used it a little bit
I
before.
did. We got it a little bit before.
You guys are all 9th graders?
I'm a 10th grader.
10th grader.
Our other teammate was a 10th grader as well.
No,
No,
You enjoyed spending time in the after school?
Yeah. Yes, that's our presentation.
Alright, next is Andrew. What a unique name.
Thank you.
Andrew Sam.
Okay, I'll send you it.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam Pulaski, and we're going to talk about synonymation. There we go, yeah. So, why did we decide to make this app? Who here knows about OpenAI? Alright, I see a good portion of you, but not all of you. So, to quickly explain, OpenAI is a Google service where they take in prompts from users and they will generate a... Well, I'm sorry, I'm moving Dolly too.
It's an independent company.
All right. My apologies. You know, I've not gotten a lot of sleep. So basically, you can enter in a prompt, and it'll give you back an image. And we thought that this is very cool. The technology is cutting edge. It's super interesting, but it's not accessible. Not only is there a waiting list to get on to use the actual prompt, to use actual prompt and image making software, but once you run out of free generations, you have to pay. And also, in our opinion, it's just not fun. And we know how to have fun. This is us. You know, last night, a lot of people were sleeping. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, here's our concept. What we want to do is generate an image with AI, and we want to gamify the process. What this means is we want users to actually guess what the original prompt was, and then we will return the score as well as the actual prompt. And we believe this relates to the overall game jam theme, because you're getting a score out of 100. It's telling you if it's correct or not, and you're generating new images and prompts. We'll hold questions till the end. So, because you are getting prompts from users, and you are also using OpenAI or any other image generating software, there are theoretically infinite possibilities. We could fill our database endlessly with more and more prompts from users.
Yeah, so we started off using Dolly for our original generations, but like Sam said, it kind of costs money. So we switched over to Stable Diffusion, and more importantly, Stable Diffusion is more accessible. It doesn't open it; it's open source. Whereas Dolly, you have to download the image and move it to the database yourself. But for Stable Diffusion, we were able to do everything on the back end pretty much just like before we run and fill our database with the prompts and the generated images. So yeah. And to generate the scores, we use semantic similarity, which is a model which shows how similar the meanings are of words as opposed to just the letters. So that's good for OpenAI, obviously, because the generation is based on the meaning of a phrase. And so this accounts for situations like a night and night, where they're spelled almost exactly the same, but the meanings are pretty different. Traditional handling distance or lunchtime distance gives very close, but semantic similarity gives further away. And you can see like a broader map of what that would look like. And it's very similar to GeoGuessr. Like it's kind of the same overarching idea in that the user is given like a piece of stimulus and is asked to give back a response as close to the original piece as possible. Except GeoGuessr kind of takes place on a map in 2 dimensions, whereas ours has many different vectors like connotation, the phrases surrounding it, and it actually ends up being about 300 dimensions in our semantic sentiment analysis model. And then for the backend server, we used Mongoose and Amazon Web Services. Mongoose is like the brains behind the program. It sends all the images to the user, and it sends all the prompts back, it gives the scores, it does all that stuff. But it doesn't really store data very well, so we used Amazon Web Services to store all the images. We have 50 images in our preliminary model, and obviously we could increase that pretty easily. But yeah, we use Amazon Web Services to store the images.
So, we are not done yet. This thank you was generated by an AI. I know, it's crazy. You wouldn't be able to tell. But we have something to show off. So, this was actually featured in the slideshow. By show of hands, who was paying attention and who wants to take a guess at the prompt? Eric.
Super cool apple wearing sunglasses.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And you got 99 out of 100. Woo. Okay, so
Isn't that perfect, actually?
who wants to take a guess at this one?
Where did the goes on?
Yes, Aiden.
Otter playing Fortnite. Otter catching a dove in Fortnite or something. I don't know. I forgot what it was.
Sea otter catching a nasty dove in Fortnite. Who wants to take a guess at this one?
A little harder.
Anthony, do you want to pick someone?
Oh, Michael.
Window, okay. So yeah.
So how does that get a 76? Like how does that work?
So because it's only 2 words, window is half of the words, and also because of the way the actual image is generated, grumpy is an adjective. So it's not going to have as much weight on what's being generated as window, which is, I mean, the bulk of the image. And although the actual image isn't necessarily dictating like how we are responding to what the user puts in, we are able to have a general sense because of that semantic similarity model. And we can tell like if somebody gets grumpy, you would also get a high score, but it wouldn't be as high.
Well, yeah, and the theory behind semantic analysis is it's how likely the 2 phrases have the same meaning as each other. So you can think of window and grumpy window as having a 75% probability of outputting the same thing.
I wonder too if it's like a Wordle thing.
Yeah, we were thinking about
that was one of our original concepts. We spent a lot of time, like a lot more time on the API than we'd like to admit. But we originally wanted to have a page where everyone would get the same thing and you could guess. And then we also wanted to have one where users could input their own prompts and it would change 1 or 2 phrases and they would guess what's changed. And through that process, we'd be filling up our database.
What did you use for the semantic analysis?
It's NLP Cloud. Since we're coding in React, that's what pretty much what we want that for as well. We tested a bunch of different ones, but they returned a lot of non-numbers or zeros and stuff.
Is it just the 2 you two?
Yes.
We are both students. Is it all React?
Yeah, it's all React.
Well,
actually, we did Stable Diffusion in Python and sent that to the stuff. Cool.
Okay, next is the quotable bagel.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh god, that movie, they like made it There's like people that wrote this book every hour, and then they read a quote from it, and then like everybody started laughing. That's what they did at the table.
some phrase that
Very flexible.
and the player has to guess it. Post their phrase based on
Title of the slideshow.
It was actually entitled.
So we are all the Global Bagels, and our project during this hackathon was called Glue. So first, obviously we had the prompt, which was rotating emoji, check emoji, 100 emoji. So there was a ton of different ways that we could have interpreted these prompts, but ultimately we ended up settling on something for rotating. We settled on going back in time, specifically reliving memories. For check, we kind of settled as confirmation or assurance that you're done with something and it's complete. And then for 100, we it was kind of like an idea of completion and everything is done and settled. So with those ideas, since this is most of our first hackathons at this campus, we decided to make a game and have some fun with it. So and also, actually before we get to that, so the problems that the main problem that we ultimately stuck with was a general lack of motivation, right? Sometimes we struggle to get things done, and it's kind of hard to realize exactly where that's stemming from. And there could definitely be a number of reasons, but one of them might be kind of hung up on the past. Sometimes life is always moving fast, and there's stuff that gets left behind, or stuff that happens, and you wish you could go back to the older days. But unfortunately, the reality is that you can't do that. So no matter how much you might want to reminisce, at a certain point you have to accept that you have to. And they're still valuable, but you have to work to continue and grow. And so with that, we set out to make a game, and we all had fun doing different parts of it. Some of us did art, some of us programmed some cool mini games for it, and we all collaborated on story and also music. So it all came together in Unity, which does have a free collaborate, except it's limited to 3 people if you want to use the free version. Not to mention that trying to mesh changes together can be a nightmare when you're working on the same thing. And yeah, but it all came together in the end. And
there were a lot of ideas for this one, but that we couldn't get to. But for the purpose of this presentation, all ideas were gotten to. Agree.
And to be on a good show, just a little start of it. So start of this week.
There was supposed to be music here, but it broke.
Yeah, the music. It works for some people. It works for some reasons. I think it's really. So here we have the start of the story where we run into this I'll just play.
We might end up skipping some of the dialogue because it got pretty wordy, but the story was definitely it. And the flowers actually grow after you finish the.
This is essentially kind of a representation of their mental state for their mind, and each uses a memory to skip it.
No.
So it kind of follows progression in their relationships with those memories. It's just
Yeah, there's still a little bit more to the game, but we're not going to cover that now, so if you want to see it, you can come to our table.
the person
Um,
walk and stuff?
I went on Procreate and I drew it frame by frame.
Yeah, so
How many
it's like,
frames did you draw? Like,
The walking mission was probably just like 6.
yeah. So basically it's switched between an idle right, a moving right, an idle left, and a moving left.
But-
And then yeah, actually, since this is the first time I'd ever tried using an image up animator, I ran into a lot of difficulties with this. It's been a very like trying to
Everything was put together in 5 hours.
well, and because that's
You was right.
no, I mean, our combined. Look, we all get credit, okay? Just because I'm the only one speaking and doing the presentation doesn't mean everyone gets participate. But yeah, it was, yeah, I definitely learned a lot about Unity. I'm sure we all learned a lot about different things. I think and trying to put it together. It's
very cool.
All right. Next is the C sharps. Oh wait, there's a C naturals too. That's something.
Yeah.
Where does it flats?
That's actually more fun.
Wow.
We got a UI, there's a level select, which we're very proud of, thanks to Evan over there. We got a website working thanks to Ryan. It does not quite link up to the game yet, but then we have a website, which is really important.
Advertising.
So that's really important. There's gameplay, sort of. You can jump and move around. So there's good work of physics that we put into how that was fun. And then we came up with a story, which was that you are a rancher working, and you need to gather up some slimes.
They're really goblins.
They're really goblins, but they're spherical gelatinous objects that have no relation to slime or slime rancher. No slime rancher.
So, unfortunately, we did not finish the game, so we do have a website, but you can download the unfinished game. I don't know why you would do that. But it is a good business engine. You can make your own levels and whatnot. So I did use CSS, JavaScript, HTML. So before this, I had like a not so great understanding of all these languages, but I did a lot of insular things like Stack Overflow, W3 schools, which came in pretty handy, and it is functional. There's UI, the UI works. There are hyperlinks, and yeah, that's stuff.
All right, so why we may have fell short. Now this was a meme that was circulated among ourselves around 9 p.m. last night, and it began circulating around 9 p.m. and it finished circulation around 3 p.m. today. And I got 2 hours of sleep last night, so that gives you an impression of the level of work that went into particularly. So basically, it's true that we did fall short, but mostly because we fell short in terms of like creating a front-facing, visually rich or interesting, or particularly things like fun, fancy buttons for you to click, basically, because we focus so much on the foundational physics engine and making a really great framework in which you can add levels and build up an amazing experience out of that. Unfortunately, we did rather get bogged down in the cycle of I just need to finish collision and then the game will be done basically throughout the process. So that's pretty much how we fell short. Is that we really made that emphasis much more in terms of the back end and making a high quality engine than focusing on the front end.
Well, we're using GitRack and we were able to get it through the senior on-site course here. I guess we'll just get it for free.
Go, Mr. Deeks.
Yes. So with that help us with organization a lot, we were able to stay completely organized and basically having a nice visual representation of our GitHub. We had art thanks to the illustrious Jack Welch. It may be a short list, but it's a list we're proud of.
Well, I should say that the art also, it's actually kind of cool. What was originally a debug feature ended up being something we included in the version as you will play it if you come play the demo. Is that basically a line will generate from wherever you jump, and the physics and jumping mechanics produce sort of interesting patterns. So that's part of why we say it's sort of like you can create art, particularly with the rotating background.
So we had a couple goals for the future. So we wanted to add some scoring mechanics so that you could actually have more of a game instead of just a platform, we'll say. We wanted to add shooting, but really sort of lassoing, so you could gather up your slimes, or shooting. We were undecided on our theme entirely. We also wanted to sort of add in like a dash and some additional movement types so that you could really get fast movement like the games that we sort of inspired by, like you mentioned.
And also throw this out, we were using Java, as we said, we were trying to make our own physics. And with that, we ran into a few problems that we'd like to work towards in the future, and that Java has a few quirks with, specifically with this object threading, that tend to be very enjoyable to work out with, and we've got some practice with this year, so hopefully, I guess not next time, it seems like there might be a next time, but at least
for Ryan
will now know how to use this object in Java. Maybe. That's all.
Thank you.
Did you finish collisions?
Yes.
We finished
collisions. At around 3 p.m., all of a sudden it was done. Like I didn't think that the bug that I fixed would be the last bug, but it was, and I was like, oh, okay.
So that was really exciting, great feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of
So basically, all right. So yeah. So see this background object is a little off center. It's because this background rotates, and the objects on it also rotate, and your interactions with them are based on like where they are. So we had to make the hitboxes rotate in sync with the objects like appearing on the screen, and then be able to like have the player bounce off of those objects in realistic ways that weren't just like you stop dead when you hit it, you can bounce off. Because we wanted to go for that sort of like exciting fast movement feel, and that wouldn't really work if you just had movement stops and you can't go any further. We wanted to have some sort of like bounciness to it, and I think it ended up feeling really well. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of opportunity to use it.
You did an oriented box, right? Oriented box flip.
It was polygons. I was using polygons for the hitboxes.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
What's the link to the website? How do you guys the website?
Brian.
It is currently it's local host, so I'm gonna find out the website. So
I just go to localhost. That's fine.
All right. Well.
We steal his computer.
Yeah. Just take it.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
No, I can't. I use no. I end up just putting all I don't. You have like 20 Google I finished doing it. I was sad. You know,
Hi guys. Next is me, the best contestant here.
Wait, Eric, are you a contestant?
No, I'm not competing, just to allay some of your peers, because obviously I would win first place. I would like to compete for the best cat app category though. All right, so I'm getting stressed right now. This is my heart rate, and this is a cat jam that's beating along to the heart rate. If you see the viral video of cat biting to the yellow polka, you'll recognize the cat. So this is a famous emote. Anyways, before I die, this is a three-part app. So I have an Android Wear device, a Wear OS smartwatch, and I get my heart rate sensor from that. I use Java and Android, whatever library, to make an Android Wear OS app. So that pulls my heart rate, it sends it to a Firebase server, which sends real-time updates to the companion website. So as I do some jumping jacks or something, the heart rate will going up. Alright, the cat will fly faster. And guess what? This website is compatible with OBS, a streaming software. So I could be playing Minecraft or Five Nights at Freddy's. I could be playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and as I get scared and my heart rate goes up, the cat would ride faster. And that's my presentation. Okay, so 100. My heart rate is often above 100. Check mark. Everyone loves cats. Check mark. The cat is continuously like doing a dance. There's the theme. Yes.
Would you mind wearing this for your next physics test?
Yes, I will. I'll live stream my physics test to the whole class. All right, yeah. That's it. Bye. Next is not Ubisoft.
You're the one who's doing not Ubisoft?
Yeah. Well, I'm also competing in the best cat app category.
It's the team.
Gotta keep this in mind. All right, there are two cat apps. Only one can be best. Are there two cat apps? Yeah, mine's a cat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a cat next to it.
Oh boy. Well, this is probably better than a finished Ubisoft game. I don't know. So I interpreted this prompt as like, how do I get 100% on tests repeatedly? And I I wanted a way to study with my friends. So that's where my idea came from. Quizlet Gravity, team-based online multiplayer. So if you've never heard of Quizlet Gravity, these terms come down from the top of the screen, and you have to type in like their definition before they hit the bottom. And if they hit the planet enough, then you lose. And then yeah. So recently they made this page, which is like an evil thing to do. I decided to make my own and multiplayer. So the theory is that games are a lucrative element that can be built into a Quizlet clone to overtake the market, maybe, and that study tools are borderline required in the modern American education system. You'll see that, like, I made a Quizlet clone. We had like 100 users in the past week, and 90% of them were from America. And I feel like there's something weird about our education system that makes that required. I don't know. But people want to study, and it might as well be fun and collaborative. So I made this, and it works. You can't access it on your phone. It's a Windows application. Okay, so like there's a really horrible story. And I know you guys are grappling with the fact that OpenAI costs money. It's owned 30% by Microsoft. But yeah. We were running into SSL certificate issues, so I had to like download a little browser along with the game that doesn't believe in HTTPS, so that we can connect in an insecure manner to the server.
Oh my God, wait.
I need at least one of the merchants to play this with me, and it's like this is the first time to my knowledge that multiplayer will actually be demoed at
Which button do I click? I have the zip open. Which button do I click?
Asteroid, not EXE.
We had one day last year.
Last year, Did you
wait,
click on Asteroid?
Give me a second.
It was coded before.
Alright. Tell me when you have, and we'll play a game together. So, we had a lot of technical issues. First two, we talked about Microsoft likes money, so we're not going to use those. Google App Engine also didn't work out for us, and because, I don't know, just the entry point couldn't trigger when I went to the URL. So I ended up pushing it on a Google Compute instance. But when I did that, it didn't work with WebSocket Secure, it only worked with WebSocket. So that's why we had that little sketchy browser that downloads with the app called Electron. I used a JavaScript front end and a Dockerized Node backend. How many of you guys are technical? I'm just curious. Yeah? I explored a really interesting new way of doing multiplayer and concurrency. Instead of sending the whole state to the client every single tick, I sent a binary diff of the state just to keep it as small as possible. And also, we don't poll like 60 times a second. We only send stuff to the server, and we only get stuff back whenever a client sends an input. You can have like a 5-minute game where you only send and receive 1,000 packets. It's super cool. And also, the idea is that it would run in the web browser. But again, I could not get an SSL certificate, so now we have whatever we have. I'll go back to the little URL. Have you?
I have it open. It's open. It says waiting.
Does it say waiting?
It does say
okay.
waiting.
So I am going to.
Wait, I'm gonna have to compete now.
Yeah.
Did you draw that?
Mine also says waiting.
It is a better cat app. Oh no, it just disappeared.
The cat is bouncing. It's pretty cute.
All right. So I'm going to go to my app. Come on. All right. So I'm on the blue team, and he's on the red team. That animation doesn't work in Firefox for some reason. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm gonna get like a bunch of these asteroids coming down. Are you in?
Yeah, it says yes.
All right. So you're gonna see like these. I'm gonna put Biden. All right. Then it disappeared. And if you ask me how I am feeling,
And the player's gonna play. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. Really, more times, I think. Johnny, yes, Gangnam Style. Never gonna say goodbye. That's 179. I memorized that. Never gonna run around and desert you. Your heart's been aching.
Is this entire thing a Rickroll?
No. There's Waka Waka, this time for Africa. Never going to give you up. You know the rules, and so do I. Sometimes I push the door close button on people running towards the elevator. I just need my own. I don't even know. Don't tell me you're too blind.
Kanye
Waka Waka.
Kanye West.
Yeah. If I got it anywhere, that's Kanye. All right. No, I'm losing. Never gonna run around and desert you. I won, actually.
No, you lost. Oh.
No, I won.
Yeah.
I
was playing with you.
Oh, so we had two people on our team?
You're supposed to win?
That's why I won. But if I go into the console, you'll see that there was only like 20 packets. So this is a really interesting thing to explore maybe later in the game industry. Not for FPSs, but for more, and turn-based games already do this, but just for like slower games that don't involve FPS style mouse movements. So yeah. Tell me if you guys have any questions about my Better Cat app.
How long were you working on it? A day and a half.
So I finished this all the first day. I can go back to my slides about technical failures. Like, I was ready at the beginning of the day to, like, I was running the app on localhost, everything works. I go to start an Azure Compute instance. It says it's not included with my subscription. An Azure App instance doesn't work. I configure a Google App Engine configuration file. It's an app.yaml. For some reasons, my dependencies don't install on Google App Engine. So I create a Google Compute instance. I push my Docker container, and then I still can't access it for some reason. It's because of a port forwarding issue. I use Google's own solution for hosting Docker container images, and it still doesn't work. I have to actually SSH into it, stop the Docker container, restart it, and then I open up the client and it says that it's not secure, and then I spend the next 6 hours looking for a way to install an SSL certificate. I really wanted to add synchronized music playing. That actually worked on the website version, but when we ported it to Windows, then it stopped working. So it was a horrible thing, and I really wanted everyone to be able to, like, this was supposed to be like an MMO, like, and have up to 1,000 players, but that did not happen. So I'm super sad about that. But all right.
Nice.
All right. Next is Crocs.
Has a cat on it, Jack. It has a cat.
Like Eric, but the point of Eric having his cat. I'm pointing that this has
Oh, I can play.
Okay, I'm just saying, 100 levels was not feasible.
I spent all of the first day on the text-based debugging keyboard, so I can start building the AI. Because it was really hard for me.
Yeah, I really want to listen to you talk about it. I find it stimulating.
Yeah, I can talk about whatever you want to do. That's really
Oh no, gas.
I'm sorry, did I steal the thing?
No, it's not
I think we can do a splash, right?
This is another.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can hold that.
So basically, I'm Mark Mott, Ian Mayhill, Zane Michelson, we're all juniors, and we developed this program called Knowledge Hack. And basically the overall aim of this program was to create like this bridge between real life running and the virtual game. So we'll get into specifics later, but basically we gotta be asked the question like who are we and like why are we creating this program about running? So this is us after a race. We're all cross country and track runners, and we were just thinking like what would make our athletic environment / experience better.
Yeah, so the main problem that our game tries to fix is running is really tough and it's often really boring. It's very like slow, it's very like not fun a lot of the time. And so we try to fix that. And so how do we address this? We took something that is fun, games and video games, and we turned running into video games. And so through the fun of video games and through competition among your peers, among your teammates, your other teams, it creates not only more fun and a challenge, but also accountability. You all know each other's miles, you can hold each other's standards, and it really benefits something that's really hard for a lot of cross-country runners, hitting your mileage and like falling through with the high standards that we look for ourselves to address this.
Okay, so then we of course have the game itself. So the game is a very simple game. The point of the game isn't to be complicated. The point of the game is to allow very much competition between groups of players on the cross-country team. And the main point of the game is every day after you do your run, you would log your runs. You know what? No. You'd log your runs, you log your pace, and how far you ran, and how fast you ran, would all be dependent on how much damage you would do, how much health you would get, and it would all very much incentivize you to work harder, to run longer, to run faster, and it would allow incentive that it would encourage your teammates to encourage you to be better and do better. So how the fundamental game works is that you have a cannon, you have a tower, and you can spend coins, which you gain from your run, depending on how long you went, how fast you went, to shoot cannonballs at the tower. And there's some levels of strategy. We didn't get too far into it, but basically there's different types of cannonballs you can shoot, and different types of cannonballs do different things, and do different damages. But you can only use them sometimes. And I don't feel like I have time to go into it. But it's basically the whole point of the game is that you have a bunch of people in one clan, you have a bunch of people in another clan, you guys attack each other's towers, and your whole point is that you want to keep running, to keep your tower self up, and you want to keep running so you can keep attacking the other towers. You just want to keep running, that's the whole point. That's really the whole point of this. Yeah, thank you. Should we do a demonstration?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do a demonstration. Alright. Okay, this is the home screen. Menu here. Alright, and then from the menu, this is supposed to be. Is it gonna work?
It's not on.
No. Okay, so yes, this is our home screen, but you see the problem is that they didn't have any coins because they hadn't logged any runs. So if you're gonna go log a run, he's gonna enter how much you ran, how much you ran. 12 miles. That's a big runner right there. How fast are you running? 7. You can't run 7:60. Okay. 7:34. You ran 7:34. All right. And then see a bunch of berries, which are also coins. That's what they're called. He's going to play, and now the cannon's coming in. And he wins. Oh, what a loser. Okay. And then he's shooting these fire cannons. The fire cannonballs do a lot of damage, but you see he keeps missing. They're going too high. So he's got to shoot his ice ball, which goes low. But sometimes it goes too low, right? Because it's hard to hit it when it's low. But he ran out of money right there. So now he's going to go. He ran 25 this time. So you got the big one. No, he ran 2. Okay. He's got how fast is he going to go?
Oh.
Last guy right there. And the cannon's coming back. But you can see the tower's going down. And the tower's going down, and the tower's down. That's it. Thank you. That's a great idea.
Does that
What?
Does that run a quarter of your weekly volume?
My weekly volume, it doesn't matter.
What program did you use to develop?
Oh yeah, I use Lua. Worst mistake of my life.
Whoa! Hey, Lua's cool. Okay.
Lua's cool. I agree. It's not easy to code it. It's not simple. Oh, it is simple, but it's like it's confusing. I spent half the time in the Lua library. I didn't understand. A little bit, but not enough. I thought I used it enough, but I didn't. Yeah. Well, it's just.
How do you stop people from lying about how much they ran?
You don't.
Oh.
Andrew Wesson. No, I have to be competing against one other man.
And we would also.
But like yeah, yeah. You can do it individually, but we can also set it up. It's really open-ended. That's why the game's so cool, because it's so open-ended.
It's just the idea that we could like post each other like a normal track meet, but it would be like virtually help.
Yeah. Alright. Any more questions? Alright. No comment.
It's like class.
Thank you.
Next is Plan Z. Plan Z? Right here? Alright, there we go.
Yeah, a couple more rounds and yeah, our really cool. So we started out with an idea called communication. I guess where you could join a playground, and whenever somebody pressed the ping button, it would just play a sound for everybody in the room. If you want it, I guess we can let you communicate with more skilled friends. So we got that pretty quickly in like 2 hours, and we realized that that wasn't anything like special. So we decided to make a game and made it all. So it's a survival game. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's basically just a survival game that took place, or we started with taking place on an island with a bunch of zombies, but then we wanted to kind of expand on the graphics and overall feel of the game. So we just settled on like kind of a Halloween vibe with the map and everything. And then incorporate the theme of on a little bit. We also made it so you just have to survive 100 seconds.
No, I guess we can play it. And we didn't have time to make the art for this, so this is all just like free stuff we can do. We didn't make the art though.
Who made the sound
Well, you can walk through that.
You got E. You got E. And here's what I think is going to do that. What are you doing to prevent that spawning?
That's part of the fun. It's like a jump scare.
They burst out the ground.
While you're playing the game.
I'm just gonna dive. What?
Oh no! That's scary.
Yeah, so pieces. I don't know why I did this.
Uber vicious.
Shaking that.
Oh, cuddle A.
I'm just saying.
Thanks for playing.
There's got 5 minutes at Freddy's.
Oh my god.
Yeah, is that going?
Do you find that so funny? Oh, okay. I'll try to be better. So what is iPhone? Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Ghost.
All right, next is Chris. Just a team named Chris. Yes.
Let's go, Chris! Boy. Whoa.
I'm not the Rainbow Spike, it's a game. So first off, here's the concept. We take a big grid of these icons, emojis, why not have even more emojis, and you manipulate the grid in such a way that you fill the grid 100% with the same emoji using various cards, and you can keep retrying these puzzles to have the minimum number of points. So sort of the opposite approach of some earlier games where instead the idea is to spend a lot of time thinking about how you can improve your solutions. So yeah, different puzzles use different ideas of how to use these manipulations of the grid. So coming up with your first solution might be easy for some things, but I would think that refine your solution is a little bit harder, and playability is emphasized. So gameplay, I guess it's fun, challenging. I don't have much to say about that. There are some fun innovations. So if you want to play it on this website, I don't know. It's just a way that you can visit the website. It works on mobile, but it's not the font size because it's not built for mobile, but it works on mobile. So you can also stop by my TikTok.
Go back.
We need Chris.
I can't demo it. I mean, it's a puzzle game, so it probably doesn't super.
Bro.
So, here's like
I get it.
No, this one's like okay, here's one. So, I have these different ways of manipulating the grid down here. So in this case, I'm going to shift it upright. And then I will shift it up. And then shift it this way. Merge with these components. That's the ideal solution, by the way, for this one. But you can get that solution. You can succeed in other ways. So you could also do possibly lamest solution. And it'll be a higher point. So a working score. So tech-wise, I used Node.js, which is not a good thing to make a game in, but I did, so that's what happened. I thought it was pretty easy to use, and I would recommend it over React. And really, this ended up being experimental using learning a new web framework. I thought it was successful, and that I feel more comfortable in Vue. I like it. There are some challenges like algorithmically when
figuring out how to manipulate it. There are different ways to manipulate it. Be a little more complicated script-wise. I guess I don't really have a problem that I'm solving here with this game. I guess the problem might be that I wanted to make something that was fun for me and hopefully fun for people to play.
Alright, and last but not least, they requested to go last for some reason. We have Wonder.
Go that way. What? Yeah, let's go that way. I've got a little blockage here.
You guys are getting docked 1 point for every energy drink you drink.
Alright. Is that on Localhost 3002?
So the three emojis for the theme were the 100, the check mark, and the repeat. So what it made us think about was school. Now, it made us think about getting 100s and check marks on your test repeatedly. To do so, you're going to use Wonder, our new way to study. And when making Wonder, we had in mind, so at this school we have a peer tutoring community. It said that learning from your peers is one of the best ways to learn a subject. And the problem with the peer tutoring community right now is that it takes too much time. Like, it's a big time commitment to step out of your way to tutor. And we wanted to make a way to make that easier and less time consuming by making it online. So with Wonder, we do that and we give community service hours based on your participation to be awarded in the point system.
So for a little demo here of our school mega app.
Oh.
Show them the paragraphs.
Okay. Now, you guys want to sign up?
Yeah, so we'll sign up for we have a very intuitive design. We'll sign up for a new account here. We'll create a username.
Has this one been done before? What's your password?
Stout. And have Andy Stout make his account. And now we see all questions that people have asked throughout their time on Wonder. Questions people have asked. And you can search with our proprietary search algorithm. So you can read and search through it. You'll feel the best results. And this is topic history. Yes. And you can also, you search through the tags of the subjects. You can also search keywords, and then you can pose a question if you have a question for somebody. Whatever question you may have, and then someone would answer it. And we also have a way of learning lessons. We can go to that later. But and another feature we have set up in our proprietary API called our API is called Graduation. We built it in PHP on the back end. And we have some features in that have not shown up on the UI yet because it was just too much to design and build the API. Designing like this. So some features that we have in the API but not built up here yet is like classrooms for everyone. So instead of just emailing, like if you email your teacher a question, they email you back. Then if someone else had that question, then they don't ask the teacher and they don't know. But if the whole class knows, then the teacher won't have to answer that question more than once, and it can be very convenient. We also have basic web RTC video chat, and socket-based texting chat, like kind of like a Zoom. So you can friend people on the app who answer your questions and link up with them to tutor, and you can do that for money or computer or a community service. And just a little demo. This is pretty like bare bones, but if you can see, there's a little bit of delay here because it's running through WebRTC, and if you want to chat to the person on the other side, you can say hi, whatever, and chat. And you go to the person on the other side, and the chat came through. We actually built our socket exactly like him, but he built it the correct way, to be fair.
Don't try to take course issues together. That was horrible.
Yeah, we both had chorus issues. We were in the same room. So we just really wanted to build like a mega app to make school easier and more accessible for people. And
And I guess one really important aspect of the kinds of apps that not many people consider is making a design that's really inviting and something that will sort of speak to students as something that's modern and something that they can really get into. And so we spent a lot of time mocking up an entire app on Figma, and we created a bunch of different examples just so we can exactly what we're trying to get to in terms of how customers they can receive the best possible experience.
And another thing that went into some of the inspiration was we're all obviously studying for the SAT, and I personally have a tutor for the SAT, and it would come to my mind that there's obviously people who aren't as fortunate as we are that would want a tutor or some access to knowledge or information like this, and we thought it would just be a great way to help people out because you basically can just have tutors who are doing it out of their kindness of their heart and just help other people.
And that final part that we wanted to include was lessons on various subjects throughout the website, like interactive lessons. So one that we mocked up was about prime numbers and the significance of them that often goes overlooked. And at the end there's like a game, an interactive game. So I want to play it with you all. So we have to click the prime number out of the choices each time. So you just yell it. 2.
67. 79. 2. 103. Wait.
3.
103. 103. 201. No.
Just for like a basic overview of the tech stack we used, we actually had 2 different servers. We're running the basic website on a local host like Node server, and then we're running the API of the backend on an Intel LampStack box. It's on my desk at home, and yeah, it's running through basically just a huge ladder of post requests, and yeah. And in terms of like video chat and texting chat, we just used basic WebRTC protocol with WebSocket that is written in C. And I don't think we mentioned we do have voting and like somewhat of a karma system. So obviously you can vote for questions or answers that you think are good. And we tried to model our karma algorithm so it was more carrot than stick. So it would incentivize people to commit information and answer questions and not be scared that they're gonna get downvoted, because I think you can all tell we took a lot of inspiration from Stack Overflow and websites like that. And one thing that none of us really like about Stack Overflow, and I can't imagine you do either, is when you post a question you think is good or an answer you think is good, and it just gets a ton of downvotes. That never feels good for anybody. So we just wanted to make sure our karma system was a little bit better than that.
What will you do to prevent ratios?
We actually think ratios are a good thing, because if someone asks a question and they get ratio, that just means they got a great answer to their question and they're going to learn more.
All right. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for presenting. We loved all the projects. Now we would like to ask you to set up demos, tech demos of your projects in the downstairs of the library. Just so our judges don't have to like walk up the stairs. So our judges will be walking around, make sure they get to your tables, and have fun.
What page? In like the
Keon, are you slacking?
Well, thank you so much for watching the live stream. You know, we apologize for the bad lighting and the bad audio, but this is the best we could do in the time crunch. So, thank you for coming. Bye.